Behind these walls, love once bloomed in silence. Love that was never supposed to exist. Love that left behind letters so tender, so human. The church tried to bury them. These are the forgotten stories of queer love in medieval convents. Relationships written in hidden poems, carved into wooden bed frames, and whispered through the darkness of forbidden nights. But the truth survived, and today, we open the door they try to keep shut forever. For centuries, historians ignored or censored emotional and romantic bonds between medieval nuns, labeling them sisterly affection. New translations, rediscovered manuscripts, and modern scholarship finally let us reconstruct their real relationships and honor the women whose stories were silenced. To understand these relationships, we need to understand their world. A medieval convent wasn't just a religious home. It was an entire universe. Women lived, prayed, worked, dreamed, and slept within the same walls for decades, often from childhood to old age. And in a world where marriages were arranged, affection was restricted, and women had little control over their lives. The convent became one of the few spaces where emotional bonds could grow freely, bonds that didn't always remain spiritual. In the 12th century, a Benedictine abbess wrote warnings about something she called particular friendships. These were not casual bonds. They were deep, exclusive, sometimes romantic attachments between nuns. One abbess described two sisters who refused to sit apart, slept in each other's cells during storms, and cried when separated. She called their bond dangerously strong. But if you read her writings closely, her fear wasn't about sin. It was about power. Because love, real love, creates loyalty that no abbess could control. Centuries later in Tuscany, investigators uncovered letters exchanged between Sister Benedetta Carlini and Sister Bartolina Crivelli. They weren't just affectionate. They were intimate, passionate, and fearless. One line read, "My heart rests in yours. I burn when you are far from me." When the church discovered the relationship, they called it diabolic temptation. But the letters say something far more human. Two women who found comfort in a world of silence. Benedetta was punished. Bartolina was removed. But their words survive, fragile, trembling, undeniably real. In some convents, pairs of women performed private ceremonies. They exchanged vows, sometimes rings. They called each other beloved or my chosen companion in Christ. Church documents exist describing nuns who slept in the same bed and were so devoted that they could not be parted. One chronicle from France recorded a nun who fell ill whenever her chosen companion was sent away and recovered the moment she returned. Were these romantic, emotional, spiritual? Maybe all three, but they were real, and they mattered. Why were these stories buried? Because they challenged the image of the convent as a place of perfect purity. Because they showed nuns as human, with desires, fears, attachments, and longing. Because acknowledging queer love meant acknowledging that women could build emotional worlds without men. So chroniclers rewrote, archivists hid, confessors burned letters. But the truth lived on in the margins. In poetry, in complaints from abbesses, in the confessions of terrified novices, and in the surviving traces of love exchanged in secret. These are not scandals. They are human stories, stories of connection in a world built on silence. They remind us that love has always existed in every era, even in the most unlikely places. They remind us that queer history is not modern. It is ancient, enduring, and deeply woven into our past. Most importantly, they give back a voice to the women who were never meant to be remembered. These stories survived against all odds, and today, we finally honor them. If you want more hidden histories, forgotten voices, and bold stories the world tried to erase, subscribe, like, and share this video. History is never silent. We just have to listen.